Hi, gorgeous people. Good afternoon. No, good evening. How are you? Um, I don't know. I think the Instagram makes you just want to dance, or maybe it's the excitement of connecting with other people. Anyhow, hi, Shagu. My name is Hajara Piton. I'm the CEO and head chandler at Owambe Candles. I'm also a lawyer by day. I have practiced law for 19 years now. And I come live on my Owambe Candles page, and I actually come live out of excitement, right? One of the reasons why I come live on the page is to share the lessons that I have learned. Hi, Shago is Hajara with an H, Hajara. But thank you. Hi, Shago. Anyhow, I come live on my page to talk about lessons I have learned in the course of life and business. And one of the reasons why I do that is because I think that, the things you learn are not for your benefit alone. You learn them so that you can teach other people, so you can benefit other people, so that they don't have to make the same mistakes that you made, and to shorten the time. I think I once heard it said that, you can start at your day one, or you can start at my 5 years of experience, meaning that you either learn your lessons by yourself from your own experience, or you do what is called climbing on the shoulders of giants. Hi, Eva. You do what is called climbing on the shoulders of giants and learn from people where they have gotten to. So that's why I come live. I just want to share with you. I want to educate you. I want to, share my perspective. I always like to state that there's not only one way to do anything, right? So what you do as a human being is you collect information from various sources, and then you pass them through your own filters to see what works for you. So it's not like, oh, there's only this way. But, take the nuggets and then apply it how you want. So today I actually want to talk about, dreaming, what you see from life and what you ask of life affecting what you get from life. And I would like to start by reading a poem. There's this poem I really love. It's called My Wage. If you want to Google it, it's called My Wage, wage being WAGE, or if you Google I Bargained with Life for a Penny, that's the poem you'll be seeing. It's called My Wage. It's by Jessie Bell Rittenhouse. And it says, I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. However, I begged at evening when I counted my scanty store. For life is a just employer. He gives you what you ask. But once you have set the wages, why, you must bear the task. I worked for a menial's hire, only to learn dismayed that any wage I asked of life, life would have paid. I mean, hi, A Purposeful Life. I like the name of your page. But imagine that. And isn't it so true? Let's just, hear it again. I bargained with life for a penny, and life will pay no more. However, I begged that evening when I counted my scanty store. For life is a just employer. He gives you what you ask. But once you have set the wages, why, you must bear the task. I worked for a menial's hire, only to learn dismayed that any wage I had asked of life, life would have paid. I think the first time I heard that poem, it was like something went off in my head. That emoji with all the smoke coming out of its head. Because I kept thinking, that is it correct? Will life pay me what I ask for it? Meaning that if I say these are the things that I desire, will I get those things I desire? And honestly, if you think about it with your own life, when you remove the conditioning, all the things that you were brought up to believe were not possible. There's some people who feel like, oh, in our house, we're not billionaires. In our house, we're not millionaires. In our house, oh, we don't go this far. Or in my village, we don't go this far. Or, oh, I'm actually the best in my village. And, you're the best in your village, but that's not so far out. Do you understand? So I think one of the things that really stuck with me is the last part that says, any wage I asked of life, life would have paid. And so what I want to ask you this evening is, what are you asking of life? What are you asking of life? And the way to look at it is to think about all the areas of your life that are important: your finances, your relationships. You know, some of us have relationship mindsets and stories. You know, one of the pages on Instagram did a survey recently about cheating and all of that. I think I saw it on Ashrebi Bella or something like that. You know, and there were so many answers. I found it very entertaining to scroll through. But I kept thinking, a lot of the things that we say and we expect, even of marriage, are what we are told and what we see. So some of us never actually sit down to say, what do I want my own marriage to be like? I find out that a lot of people know what they don't want and they don't identify what they want. So if you don't identify what you want, then how are you going to get it? So whether it's in marriage, whether it's in your finances, if you move from the point where you're thinking, I just want to survive, and you start thinking, I want to thrive, right? It's not enough to say I want to thrive. It now becomes, what does thriving look like to me? If you're the kind of person that, because some people are happy, like, oh, they have their money, they're quiet, they don't take care of anybody, that's fine. There's some people who thriving for them means they have extra. They have extra to give the orphanages. They have extra to give church. They have extra to build a house for their mother. They have extra to, take care of their father. They have extra to ensure that their family goes to hospital if need be. They're registered in good hospitals. You have to define for yourself what thriving looks like, what success looks like to you. The thing that we don't do is that we're not intentional about it. So if I asked you now, like, what do you want? What do you want in the area of your finances? What do you want in the area of your health? What kind of lifestyle do you want to live? What kind of work do you want to do that will be fulfilling to you? Like, what gives you joy? A lot of us don't even know, because we haven't taken out the time to step back and actually say, look, if all of these things, if I didn't have to do what I do, hi, Boss Hajo, hi, Diva, if I didn't have to do what I'm currently doing, what would I do that would give me joy? If money, the way they used to phrase it was, if money was not an issue, what would you do? Like, what would you do for free, right? So what would give you joy to do? So think about that. And I think maybe that's the homework, because I had a candle making class on Saturday. I'm in homework giving mood, and my last student did a lot of homework. Like, she did work, so I'm happy. So maybe I should give you the homework to, after this live, and maybe, as soon as you have some time, actually sit down and define what would be thriving for you. As in, give yourself permission to dream. Give yourself permission to look beyond what is reality. What one of the statements that I never tell myself anymore, I used to say it, but I don't say it anymore, is be realistic. Why should I be realistic? Really, like, why? When the possibilities are endless, when I can dream as large as I can dream, and then watch creation fulfill it. And one of the things that I have found out is, if you have a dream, if you have something you want to do, like, whatever it is, like, immediately you start getting obsessed with something. So let's even start, like, on the smaller levels, right? Let's say my first car, maybe it was a Toyota something, like a tiny car. I remember that I used to admire Picantos. Like, I used to be like, oh God, I can't wait to save money to buy a Picanto. That was when they were new, a long time ago. Yes, but when you start thinking, oh, I had a friend, Cookie, she had a black Picanto. So when you start thinking, oh, I want a black Picanto, what do you start to see on the road? You start to see a black Picanto all the time. If your recent like is a red, maybe Toyota Avensis or whatever it is, all of a sudden, every time you start seeing a red Toyota Avensis on the road, they will all of a sudden become the most common car in Nigeria. Why is that? It's because once your mind has been told to focus on something, it focuses on it for you. It looks for it for you, because your mind is a faithful servant. It was given to you to serve you. Meaning that also, if your mind is focused on lack and poverty, somehow that's all you actually see. Honestly, practice it, maybe, like for the week, and say you're just going to focus on good things. You're going to focus on, abundance. You want to have more in the area of finances. And I'm not one of those, because I'm a real person. I'm not like, it's not like, oh, I'm a celebrity or I'm selling a coaching program. No. So I'm a real person, and so I'm not one of those who is thinking that, oh, when you imagine something, right? You imagine yourself as a billionaire, all of a sudden you're going to become a billionaire. No. But what it helps you do is, once you start to think about abundance and you start to think about creating more wealth and living wealthy, then you start to see opportunities to do it. The things that normally would not have been opportunities become opportunities also, really, because everything is energy, right? I mean, if you're around somebody who is depressed, like their shoulders are hunched, the face is sad, there's a way they talk, there's a way they're speaking, right? And if you're around somebody who's happy, they're probably, exaggerated, they're large. So it's all energy. It also means that your mindset is creating an energy, right? So your mindset is either attracting what is negative or what is positive, or it's not even attracting anything knowingly. That's actually the worst. When you are living your own life and you are living it unconsciously, you're living it based on what nobody has, what other people have taught you. You haven't decided what life looks like for yourself. So in the area of finances, you can sit down and say, what does success look like to me? And success cannot or should not look like just paying your bills, just surviving, like just, getting from the end of one month to the other. Because there's actually a purpose to wealth, right? So success can look like, okay, paying all my bills easily, ensuring that family is properly taken care of. It can look like having extra every month to invest in my business. It can look like having extra every month to do 1, 2, 3, and then do charitable work. Some of us grew up in I don't know where you grew up, but you can adopt a neighborhood. You can say, oh, I would adopt a neighborhood, and every Friday I would send food there, every Sunday. It's because we're still thinking about just surviving for ourselves that our minds haven't expanded to actually doing more for others and the society that we live in, So I think that that's a major thing. And I think another way to know what you desire, right? First is you need to sit down and write what you desire down in terms of, I think there's 7 wheels, there's 7 areas. If you've ever done the Wheel of Life thing, test, or that thing where you join the different wheels together and say how your life is balanced. There's health, there's finances, there's relationship, there's maybe spirituality. There are various areas that your life. Hold on a minute, I'll be back in a second. How do I pause the video to get to my door? Hold on a second. So there's health, your finances, there's your relationships, there's maybe your fitness, I don't know, but look for the 7 wheels of life. So there are various areas of life that you have to sit down and define for yourself what success would look like in those areas. Once you've defined it for yourself, now it doesn't mean that you're going to get to those places immediately, but at least you have a roadmap. At least the life you are now living is your own life. It's not somebody else's life. You're not marching in a direction that was written for you based on somebody's expectations. Okay, so I'm just going to share 2 things about that. Hi, my coach is live. She's here, Ekene, the iconic womanhood coach. Hey, coach. Yes, so there's a story that I don't know if you've read or heard of, but there's a story about a lady who got married, right? And every time she wants to cook, like a leg of lamb, like it's an American story, so leg of lamb, right? She wants to cook it. Hi, coach. She'll cut the leg of lamb in 2 and cook it in her skillet, and then cook, the other one. So her husband always asked her, her new husband always asked her that, why do you cook your leg of lamb like that? Why do you cook it in house? And she was like, that's how lamb is cooked. You cook it in house. So at the Thanksgiving, her mom was there, and he asked her mom, he was like, oh, she always cooks her leg of lamb in half. Why does she do it like that? Or why is it like that? And she asked her mom, she was like, but mommy, that's how you cooked it. And cooked it like growing up, And her mom says, I only did that because I had a small skillet. Can you imagine that? So what she had spent her life thinking was the way to do something was actually done by her mom because she didn't have a big skillet. Meaning that some of the things that you have learned, some of the things that you display, some of the things that you tell yourself is how life is or how life should be, is based on your observation of other people's experiences that probably have nothing to do with the actual reality, right? So if her mom had a bigger skillet when she was younger, her mom would have cooked the leg of lamb completely, at once. And I think this is also interesting, especially when you think about, like, scientifically now, they're saying hereditary diseases are only 10% genetic. I'm not sure that that's in all cases, but that's what the science is saying. Meaning that if your mother, yes, taking on other people's limitations, meaning that, like if you come from a family where, it's natural, like, oh, when you guys fight, you keep malice, maybe not keep malice, maybe you just don't talk to each other for a couple of days for you to cool off. When you now grow older and get into a relationship by yourself, when you go away for a couple of days to cool off when you're upset, it has nothing to do with this is how to resolve a dispute. It has everything to do with this is how you learned that disputes were resolved. So that's the point, that, look, you have to step back by yourself and say, what does a good life look like to me? What if there were no limitations, what will I be looking to achieve with my life? And then ask yourself how that can be possible. Actually, when you're dreaming, you don't ask the how. Just dream the dreams and allow yourself go, right? Then you start to say, okay, if this is the direction I want to go in, what steps do I need to go to get in that direction? Hi, Lanre. Hi. Thank you for joining. Hi, Sunny Barclay. Okay, thank you for joining as well. So anyhow, today we're just talking about, choosing what you ask for from life, about being conscious about what the outcomes in your life, consciously seeking them, consciously cultivating them, consciously asking yourself what you want, then doing the work to do that. My coach is on here, Iconic Womanhood Coach, and one of the reasons why I am working with Coach Ekene is I know that I want more from my life. I want to, unleash my full potential. I want to be more feminine. She's the feminine womanhood coach, and she teaches iconic women, inspired, creative, coach, what's the rest? Bertha join, all of that, and she teaches you to express yourself in the most authentic manner. And for me, that's important, maybe because it's not something that I necessarily knew how to do, So you have to look for where are the improvements. And one of the things that I learned, I've shared it before from one of my young friends, is Wi-Fi mentors, right? Meaning that people that are not close to you, people that you don't know, can mentor you by what you read, the kind of information you expose yourself to. I remember one of the things that I say with my business is I always say yes first, then I figure it out later. I learned that from Richard Branson. I heard him on a show talk about, he always says yes first and he figures it out later. And I just thought, yes, that works for me. I'll say yes, I'll go and learn what I need to do, and I'll present it. Meaning that that's also a way that your mind is open to the opportunities. So by reading the books, by following the people you want to learn from on Instagram, etc. Anyhow, so I'm going to end this live again by reading that poem again. I want you to think about it, and I want you to do the work from today's live in terms of being intentional and determining what your life, what success would look like for you in every area of your life for yourself. One of the things you never want to do is climb up a ladder and find out that you after climbing, you've climbed up, but you're on the wrong wall. For some of us, success, includes, okay, we're going to our day job, we're doing our business, we're doing this. For some people, success is, I want to stay at home and raise my kids and let them be the best humans in the world. And they can pay attention, they're gifted to do that, so please, yes, Bertha, I'll save it so that you can watch the replay. I try to save the lives, so success has to be personal. If success, an example of that, right? Like if you do success on my own terms, First, it will be unfulfilling, but let me just give you another story to illustrate that. So let's assume that all of us are on earth and we're in a race. We're set to run our races, not in a race together. Let's say my race is a marathon, right? Meaning I'm meant to go far and I'm meant to go long. And your race is a 100-meter dash, meaning that you're meant to go fast and your journey is short. Now, if I, who am meant to run a marathon, I'm staring at you and thinking, wow, see how fast she's running. Look how fast she's going. Look how quickly she got married. Quickly, she's had triplets. Oh my God, her husband is a multi-billionaire. And because of all of that, I'm tensioning myself. Me too, I'm now trying to walk the way she's walking. I'm trying to, look the way she looks. I'm trying to quickly get married and nobody's coming to ask me to marry me. Even when I do, it's hard to get pregnant. But because I'm not looking at my own race, I'm looking at her own race. I'm feeling that my own life is not satisfactory. Meanwhile, I was meant to run a marathon and she was meant to run a 100-meter dash. Guess what will happen to me? I will die without being able to complete my own race, because mine was meant to be long, it was meant to be slow, it was meant to be steady, it was meant to take, a particular format, and hers was hers. So please, when we think about success, it must be what is success for you. What satisfies you? What makes your own soul happy, regardless of what everybody else says. For some of us, you might not get there. You probably don't get there in a year. You don't get there immediately. But once you have the vision, then you start to live your life in such a way that you add it. One of the things I always say, or always in my dream life, is that I will live by the beach. I will have a house by the ocean. So, part of what I did and do, well, aside from the COVID times, is if we had a choice for a vacation, I would go to a place where it is by the ocean, such that I'm not necessarily where I want to be, but I'm already getting the feeling of the life that I want to live. And it's almost like a proof of concept. You can have a dream, like how, if you're African, you've seen snow in America, and then you think, snow is really good. Then, one day you now travel at Christmas to have a bit of a feel of the snow, and then you now see that, okay, well, this kind of cold is not necessarily good for me. At least you've proven the concept, whether you don't like it or not, or you want to change strategy with the dream. And your strategy can always change. Please remember that. Don't put yourself in a box. There's always your deliberate strategy, there's always your emergent strategy. Your emergent strategy is what happens as you actually work out the strategy, because everything is not a straight line, it's a zigzag, it's a journey. So I'm going to end the live by reading the poem again and by encouraging you to be intentional about this. You have only one life, it's your life. People can cut soap for you, but if they are not, the soap is not the type you are meant to be using, your skin is sensitive and their own skin is dry, their own skin is nice and oily, then the soap might not work. So you have to determine the life for yourself. So it's called My Wage, a poem by Jessie Bell Rittenhouse. And it says, I bargained with life for a penny, and life would pay no more. However, I begged at evening, when I counted my scanty score. For life is a just employer. He gives you what you ask. But once you have set the wages, why, you must bear the task. So once you decide that, okay, I want to just be working on a hamster's wheel, I just want to have just enough, that's what you're going to have. And you're going to bear the task. Meanwhile, somebody else will say, I'm going to do half of what he's going to do. I'm going to enjoy my life. It's going to be long. I'm going to enjoy my family. I'll go on vacations. I'll rest. I'll take care of myself. And I want to earn 10 times that. And the person will be earning 10 times that. And you'll be standing back and wondering, what kind of luck is that? Meanwhile, you could have decided that for yourself. So the last paragraph said, I worked for a menial's hire, only to learn dismayed that any wage I had asked of life would have paid. Okay, people, have a great evening. I just wanted to come and spend a few minutes with you. God bless you, stay well, and talk again soon. I'll save the live if you didn't catch all of it. Enjoy. Bye.